From the solicitor's perspective in conveying a property, the life of a conveyancing solicitor has totally changed. But, as I've said before, the principle is the same. Can title be proved? Now, it's only recently in Essex, and by that I mean 1998, which might seem a lifetime away to you, but it is fairly recent in terms of history and property. The land registry, and you may have heard that phrase, is the government quango that guarantees everybody's title. If you've got a land registry title in your name, you own the property. No ifs, no buts, you own it. That's the end of the matter. You've got a land registry title backed by the government, you own that property. But it was not compulsory to register titles until 1998. Prior to that, the process, which is where the word conveyancing comes from, was based on your paper title. So when you bought a property, your solicitor would be sent all the, in inverted commas, the deeds, and they would look through those deeds, and that gives a history of title of who owned it going way, way back, and what restrictions and all the other legal stuff that the solicitors have to advise you about. And then they look at these documents and say, yeah, that's fine. The man that you're buying from does own this house, you can buy it, and the solicitors will handle it. And at that stage, prior to that, you would have had a contract drawn up between you and the seller, detailing all of these conditions and detailing the fact that the seller warrants to give you good title, and that contract would be drawn up, signed by you, signed by the seller, price, any special conditions, but you still haven't bought that house until those contracts are exchanged. And unbelievably, the word exchange is because they physically exchanged. The two solicitors met, and the buyer solicitors gave the seller solicitors your contract and vice versa, hence the word exchange. That could not happen nowadays in a volume market, and you've got to figure out how could that possibly happen with a chain, because the solicitor can't be in two places at the same time. He can't sell and buy simultaneously, and that's what needs to happen. And therefore the system has evolved very, some would say really quite cleverly, thanks to the solicitors and their obligations of trust, to a system where this exchange of contracts actually happens over the telephone. And there's a special formula of words they have to use. So when you exchange contracts, it doesn't happen physically anymore, it's done over the phone, and the solicitor then warrants to put the contract in the post or email it or whatever they now do. But the point is, it's an exchange of contracts dealt with over the phone by the solicitors, and that enables that transaction to happen. And the solicitor could be anywhere in the country. And likewise, there's that same principle of exchanging over the telephone has evolved to ensure that you can buy and sell simultaneously at the same time, because the Law Society and the solicitors have devised a formula that allows the contracts to be exchanged simultaneously, but they're not quite exchanged simultaneously, but they're treated as such.